All right. Hello. Good morning. So I did fiddle a little bit with this yesterday. So we're actually at a point now where I'm managing these dependencies I talked about. By the way, I figured out why I've been so dizzy streaming during the holidays. Because we have, I got a new office in the basement, and we don't really have very good ventilation. So every time I sat down and concentrated, I got super dizzy. So make sure if you ever put an office in the basement, make sure you have good ventilation. Let's see. So the point is that we have this flat array of changes in the commit history, where each change has a type of change, like is an actual modification to a file, is it a rename of a file, is it an addition of a file, is it a deletion of a file. It has an index which points to the original index it had in this chronological order, and it has a reference to the original hash it was part of. And then from that, we derive this list, which is like nested by commits and file name, and then the type of change. And then that allows us to just basically, every time we move something from one place to another, we just change the hash in the, in the changes, in the relevant changes. So if I move one change, we change the hash of that one change. If I move a file, we change the hash of all the changes within that file. And then we just derive again, right? And we also do a sorting, because the order of these are actually important. Yeah, and that, I think I have something wrong there. Fix sorting to take into account file operations. So currently the sorting only takes into account like the modifications and their index and the index, so that when you move something to a previous commit, like the index actually, like first it orders by like line range, but the index matters as well. Like if it was originally applied after or before the current change. But I'm not taking into account file operations there, which should always really be at the beginning. I think that makes most sense. Anyways, so I'm here working on yeah, so this is kind a little bit, I'm not sure if it's messy. I think it's quite straightforward actually. So what I'm doing now is that I'm passing in, so I think that's the thing that's a little bit bad now. We should fix that. There's so many arguments now that I think we should pass it in like this instead. Make it a little bit more clear what's happening. Let's see, how can we do this? Chunk, let's do this first, and then dependencies, index, path, hash. Oops. Like so. Let's fix the others as well. Chunk, hash, path, index, dependencies, like so. And then we have one more, I think. Chunk, hash, path, index, and dependencies is empty. Oh, let's see, dependencies, like that. Okay, so let's verify the first one. So what we're doing is whenever there's a change file actually means modified file. So whenever there's a modification to a file, we keep the current file changes and then we add the new chunks. It's funny that it's called chunks here. This is from a library. Because when I learned about Git hunks, I also thought it was like a typo, but they're actually called hunks instead of chunks. I find it very peculiar. Anyways, so we pass this in, and then the dependencies are, of course, we only care about file changes that are the same as for this modification. And then we go over and we check if that previous change is a dependency of this change. And the scenarios where it's a dependency of this change is if that other previous change is an addition or if it's a rename. But there's one more scenario, and that is if that previous change causes an overlap with this change. And we actually have that logic already, but it's put in the rebaser, so we need to move that out here. And because there's nothing else it depends on. No. So let's go and find the rebaser. Where do we, like, we have dependencies. Find the index, other change. No, this is setting the actual, this is finding the dependency. Where is it pushing the? I thought we had that logic here. Now I'm a little bit confused. Let's see. Let's see. I'm just gonna try to fix something here. It bothers me every single time. No, that's not it. Is it overlays? New screen, new text body, new shape, new image. Like, I don't want a camera overlay. I want the comment. Well, I don't actually, it's not an overlay. I just want the comments to be like visible. Maybe it's just keep utility windows in front while live. I guess that's the thing. Oh, there we have it. Nice. Finally. Okay. So, yeah, I'm a little bit confused because I had logic that checked if there was overlap, but I can't find it anymore. That is weird. But I guess we can try to write the logic again. Yeah. Are we sure we don't have it? I find that strange. Overlap. Oh, oh yeah, did I change it? This is all. Did I change it? Because no. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. So let's put it back. Yeah, I find this very strange. Anyways, but we can actually test this first. So when we have this addition now, we should see that if I move, if I move this this change before it, it should have shown a warning. It doesn't for some reason. Why doesn't it do that? Why doesn't it do that? Changed file. Okay, we have the file changes here. So we had a modify, we had an add, and then we had the modify again. Hello there. Oh, it says that it doesn't have any dependencies. How can that be? That's weird. How can that be? Is there something wrong in the build? No. Because we're literally adding the add. Added file. Oh, I see what happens. Of course. Oh, look at this. It's because it's the chunk is part of the actual added file. How should we fix that? I think we should do 2 additions here. I think that actually makes more sense. So first we add. How should we do this? Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So we do this. We first add this one, and then we add the chunks, and then we have to add the same logic here. So I guess this is where we need to change it out a bit. How should we do this? Should we just make it a utility? I guess we have to. Or should we look at chunks? Like after. Yeah, maybe we could do that instead. Yeah, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna drop this one. Yeah, we're gonna drop this one because often it has chunks. Let's see. And these chunks, they always represent modifications. That's the point. Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're not gonna make this part of changed file. We're just gonna at the end here. I don't think it. Yeah, it always has chunks. So what we're gonna do. Yeah, so change path is not necessarily there. It depends on the. Because if it's a rename, it means we're using path before. So I think change.type equals. I guess it should be path. Oh, sorry, old file name. Path. Where's path? There. Path after. Yeah. So any modification, we want that to be. Well, this is the thing. So a deletion also has a chunk. It has a chunk which is the actual lines removed from that deletion. And the question is, if you delete a file, like your intention is to actually delete the file. It's not to like delete the contents of the file. So I don't think we should include that deletion chunk or hunk. So what I would suggest is that we say is this a for loop? Yeah, let's just break out of that. So if the deleted file, we're gonna break. We do not care about the actual. And what's important to understand about this approach is that when we actually apply the rebase, we don't actually apply all the diffs back. Like we're not manipulating the history with the actual diffs. We're like resetting the branch to its original state, and then we run through all the changes and we reapply them to the file system, and like we create the new commits as if we were doing it ourselves. So that means when I delete a file, we'll actually delete the file in the file system during rebasing. So that will all just come together. Care about the actual changes for a deleted file. As the developer intended to delete the file in whatever state it was. Cool. So I think maybe this will fix it. So if I move, hello there. Fuck. It didn't work. What happened now? Does it have the yeah, now it has the dependency. Okay. So it might be the way I identify dependencies now. So let's look at that. So when we get rebase commits, what we do is that if the change has a dependency length, I think I'm now storing like the original index in that array instead of the current index in that array, maybe? No, that can't be it. Oh, that's interesting. So it shouldn't have hit this logic. What? And let's just look at it. Dependent index. Yeah, that's the thing. No. Let's rename this to dependency. Okay, let's just look at it. Yeah, and we also have to take into account that it might be moved to the trash. So that's like a -1 index that we explicitly need to handle. Oh, it doesn't even hit the logic. That's weird. Wait, how is that possible? We have a length of the dependencies. How can that be? Rebase get. This doesn't make sense to me. So modify. Oh, look at this. Dependencies is empty suddenly. Okay, so we're... Wait, somewhere we are changing the dependency. Dot dependencies. I think we have some... Oh, look at this. Here we have this dependence. Oh, there we have it. That's the thing I was looking for. Okay, so we still need... Oh, this is interesting. So what we're also doing in this flat array is that we're normalizing each modification so that it was applied as if there was no other changes applied. And for overlapping, so that means that we're kind of, for every change, we look at the previous changes and we subtract the line modifications. But that's a problem for overlapping hunks, because you might have line changes like in between the hunks. So the way I'm solving that is that I'm actually not normalizing a hunk if the previous hunk was overlapping with it. I just keep it as is and rather make that previous one a dependency so that they always need to be like together. And then both of them are controlled by their previous changes, which I'm also very happy about, like concluding on. But we still need this logic, but we also need this logic for finding that dependency. And I wonder if this logic should rather be looking at the current change. Yeah, so I think this logic should be moved over, and then this check should rather be checking if current change has a dependency to the original change. And if that's the case, it shouldn't do any normalization. So let's copy this, and then we're gonna write if current change dot dependencies includes original change index. Oh. Continue. We do not normalize if previous yeah, you know what, we're gonna actually not call this original change, we're gonna call this previous change. If previous change is a dependent of the current, is a dependency, current change, we do not normalize, as you cannot move this change in front of the previous. This manages the complicated nature of overlapping changes. Okay, cool. And then we're gonna move this logic. Oh. Line start, line end. Okay, we still need all of this. Let's see. Let's remove that one. This one. And then we don't want this dependence thing. We're not gonna change the dependencies. We're rather gonna go in here and we're gonna add the final piece to the puzzle here. So maybe yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Let's create a utility for it. Export function is overlapping changes. So this should take change, file change, and then a previous change. Yeah, what makes most sense? Previous change, file change, change, file change. And then I'm gonna move this. Sorry, I'm gonna move this logic. So if previous change, well, if change, okay, I think, no, this is not enough. If previous change dot type not equal, and this is the problem, like, and this is also another thing we have. We're actually, is text file change? We only do that if file change type. Oh, yeah, but this is true. Sorry, because now we're in this. So if previous file change type. Yeah, so if the previous change is not a modification or the current change is not a modification, we just return false. And then we can do this. Why doesn't this work? Oh, we have a binary thing. Oh my god. If okay, so I think we can do this. Yeah, there we go. So what we want is for both. You know what? We're gonna change this because this is illogical. We're first gonna check is modifications and change type equals. So very often I find this, like you kind of go direct, like you want to create this return, right? So you go this early return to kind of avoid nesting code. So, and what often happens is that the if statement itself becomes illogical or hard to reason about. So what I typically do instead is that I flip it around, I go up and I create variables that explains very well like what I'm actually testing. Well, actually, I actually have what I need. So what I would typically do here is I would create these variables and then I would put them in the if statement to make it more clear. But I just remember I actually have if is text file change, or so if the previous change is not the text file change or the current change is not the text file change, we're just going to return false. And then we have well, we're just going to return true. So we're going to call this change. Yeah, is overlapping. Or is overlapping. It's overlapping changes by giving it maybe dependent change and the change. Oh, fudge, isn't that? Why is this wrong? Am I using the wrong? Oh, sorry. This is currently not. Wait a minute. Oh, this is not. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. We haven't mapped that. Yeah, sorry. So this change. Oh, chunks. Oh, sorry. This should be chunk. But that's also wrong. Yeah, sorry. So we need to map. Ah, fudge. I think we might have to. Oh my god. I have to give it. Well, what does it actually need? It needs is overlapping change. And this isn't a change. This is just what it needs to check. Yeah. Yeah, because we're just checking if the change we're looking at, if that start is in between the range of a change, that's when it's overlapping, right? So we just need a line. And that's the old start. Is line overlapping with change. Is line overlapping with change, and then we do this. And then we don't need to do this. Oh, sorry. Oh no, sorry. This is just line. Okay, is line overlapping with change? And then we say is line overlapping with change? And then we can just say chunk dot. Okay, if chunk dot type equals chunk. I'm not sure what this combined chunk is. I'm currently not supporting it. Chunk dot type equals chunk, and is line overlapping with change. That will be chunk dot from file range start. There we go. I think that should fix it. So now if any of the previous changes, so if the current change or chunk here overlaps with a previous change, we make that previous change a dependency, which is exactly what we want. And then as we're building up, as we normalize, we skip normalizing if the current change has a dependency to the previous change. We don't make that previous change actually affect the normalization process. I think that's great. Let's see, I have to go shortly. But let's see here. So if I move hello there you see it. So now you see there's a warning here, because this is not allowed. But if I move, yeah, maybe we can fix that as well. Like this didn't work now because we're not doing the sorting. So maybe we could do that immediately. Sort changes. So yeah, so here we sort by. Yeah, so basically what we can do is if a.type equals, well, not equals change type modify, and think that will be -1, and then else if it's the opposite, we're gonna do one, something like that. Let's see. So we'll move this one down here first. Wait, what happened now? Why did it stop working? What? How can the sorting affect this? Oh, wait a minute. Is this sorting? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. How should we do this? So we still have to have, they need to be within the same hash, right? That's important. Let's call it is same hash. Stop that. And then, yeah, so I don't think we actually need this, because what we're going to do here is say is same hash, and then since both of these are also is same hash, and oh, I thought that would work. Because doesn't this mean that this A has to be a modification? Oh no, because it might not be the same hash. Sorry. But let's change at least this. Okay, let's see now. There we go, and then add file. Yeah, look at that. It's working. Cool, I have to stop. But this is great. So, like, I feel in control of this, which is an amazing feeling after all these iterations. Any additions? So we fixed additions. Let's just keep it there so we can iterate on it. So then any renames, it's also there, so we can look at deletions the next time. Yeah, we did move the overlap dependencies. We need to test it though. But okay, thanks. We'll talk more tomorrow, I hope. Bye for now.